Welcome to the channel where all you gotta do is steal some stuff from the wife so you can properly make a roll cage. I'll show you how. So, there's some companies out in the interweb area that make these little tools, which, you know, they work. They work okay. Or you can fit it around a piece of tubing and figure out how to notch it. And notching a straight tube to a straight tube, 90 degrees, super easy, or even an angle, super easy. But when you start coming in a compound angle and around a bend, then it gets trickier with just a hole saw. So, and you can buy these little chingaderos. I'll put one in the corner here on what those look like, but they only work for one size, and you can't slide them over the pipe and get them back off in situ. So what I've been doing for years is you just take any piece of just a rod of material. These happen to be welding rod for gas welding, which I don't do any gas welding anymore, so I just chopped it up because I don't have a gas welder. And then these white ones are from a coat hanger. That's the same, within a couple thousandths of the same diameter. So, and what you do is you just put a rubber band around it. You take all these little sticks that are the same length, approximately same length, just kind of saw them to length, and then deburr them, and then put the rubber band around it. You can just slide these things in and get it to fit properly, and then you put a piece of tape around it, and then you can take it off and put it back on. It's and then you can just slide that over the tube and make it what you need it to make. So yeah, I'll show you how to make one, and I'll show you how they work. So I just went into my wife's closet, and she's got a bunch of these coat hangers from dry cleaner places. Tell they're from a dry cleaner place because they got white stuff on there that I don't know what it does, but probably has a place to put their logo, Fred's Dry Cleaning or whatever on there. So the thing you gotta remember about this is when you steal these, don't let her know. She's gonna be mad. You know they've been sitting there for a year and she hasn't used them. She's gonna be mad if she knows you took it. So the second thing you need to do is make sure they're all the same size, because you need a lot of this. This is 85 thou, 85 thou, 83 thou. Close enough for a coat hanger, I think. So I'm just going to go over to my handy dandy bandsaw and slice off a bunch of these sections. Doesn't really matter how long. I like to make them, you know, I don't know, 3 inches or something. So we'll go slice these guys up. So that's 5. That's from 5 coat hangers. I got 3 more over there. So 8 coat hangers you have to steal from your wife. So this is a deburring wheel. You can get these for soft metals like aluminum or steel. I never buy the aluminum ones, even if I use it for aluminum, because they just disappear. They're super like soft. So I use the steel ones for aluminum and everything. It works fine. Just don't. So anyway, they're like 40 bucks for one of these wheels, but they last years as long as you don't, you know, abuse them. And this is my grinder setup here. I don't know if you can see it too good, but basically I got my grinding wheel here, rough, coarse, and then the wire brush and the burr wheel all on the same stand, so it doesn't take up much room in my shop. Okay, so you just do that, and then you do the other side, and then you just offset that much, and that's where you grind. Now you can also, if you're in like a weird position, you can make it go all the way around. Obviously I'll do that. And then just put a piece of painter's tape on there like that. And then that'll slide off. You'll have to mark it. Like, for instance, this white one here, we can use that as the liner upper. And then just line it back up with that. And then the nice thing about this, I mean, it takes a little bit of time to, you know, jam them all into the rubber bands or O-rings or whatever you got, but you don't have to slide it over something. It doesn't have to be straight where you slide it over. You could just make these shorter if it's like right next to a curve. And all you need is these little sticks, and you can use it for any size, right? It doesn't have to be, you know, 1 5/8 or 1.5 or 2 inch, right? You just need enough to go. I mean, you don't even have to have enough to go around. You could use half of it and then do the other half. But I've been doing this for years. Works great. I mean, the other thing you can do is once you get this thing marked, you can put it on the mill and get it kind of close with a hole saw. And you don't necessarily have to use the same size hole saw as, like, this is an 1 5/8 tubing. You can use an 1.5 inch hole saw just to get the majority of the metal out of there and kind of line it up with your mark, and then finish the rest with an angle grinder and with a flap disc on it or whatever. So anyway, this works pretty good, and it's essentially free, right? Just a couple of rubber bands and some mold coat hangers, and you're in business.